Okay. Well, Mia, thanks again for being here. And again, as we were saying, this all started at your conference in Budapest last year.
Absolutely. Yes.
So happy to be there. And anybody who hasn't gone to Hungary and gone to one of your great conferences, I highly recommend it. And I hope I'll be there next year.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And let me formally. Oh, we just lost your camera. Let me see. Yeah, I think the internet over there is low. Can you still hear me okay?
Yes, yeah. I can. Can you hear me? Can you hear?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, some people are seeing the camera. I'm not. That's all right. Well, let me introduce you. I'll let you get started. Bia is a lecturer at EFLTE University in Hungary and other countries, either on young learner methodology using art, language teaching methodology, child and teacher development, and salutogenesis, among many other things. And again, thank you for being here. I have the timer, you have control of the slides, and I'll let you take it away. Okay?
Yes. Okay. So, hi everybody. I'm sorry. We've just had the router being changed, and we changed it for a better one, but this seems to be like a much worse solution than the previous one was. I hope that it will be fine for the next 10 minutes. And as Rob said, this all started last year at the EFL Hungary conference, but I didn't know anything about when Queenie and Juan and Rob talked about this EFLtalks, the Young Learner session, because I was busy organizing the conference in the background. Anyway, 10 months later, Rob asked me if I wanted to join, and it's my great privilege to be here among you. Thank you very much for having me here. And as in the introduction, Rob said that salutogenesis is very much among my interests. I just would like to show you or make it clear for you that salutogenesis stands for well-being and health. And I think that finally, teachers' well-being is also recognized, and students' well-being is also becoming recognized in the classroom, in education. It was a wonderful way, as Lucy talked about the preservation of childhood earlier, and Juan also highlighted some of the very important aspects of education and language learning. So, the title of my presentation is Movement and Music Accompanied Language Learning, MEMOL. Originally, it would have been just MOL, like an EFL shopping mall for teachers, where you can buy all sorts of activities or games or songs or classroom, all sorts of things that you could use in the classroom. But CALL and MOL, computer-assisted language learning and mobile-assisted language learning, Nelly talked about this, was already taken. So I had to give another name, and then I included music, and that's how it became movement and music-accompanied language learning, MEMOL. It's better to go on now. So, as you could almost see here in the background, this would be here I+1, and probably you remember Crescen's input hypothesis. The comprehensible input, the input is just slightly, a little bit above the learner's competence. That's the +1 stand for. And here, this would be Vygotsky zone of proximal development picture, the I can, I can't, and in between, in the yellow, with the help of the teacher or with the parent, the children can produce something, can do something. Now, when I think about my language classrooms, I think that the movement accompanied games and activities are so important because there is always a new challenge, a skill component in it. And this S stands for the skill. And then in my movement accompanied language lessons, I always have the +1. So the skill is just a little bit above the level of the children's current ability to perform a skill. And that makes a challenge for the child for the motivation to learn the activities. Many of you already talked about age-appropriate teaching and the age-appropriate learning here before me, so I don't have to go into details. It was very beautiful as Lucy went over the physical, emotional, cognitive development of children. Nati also talked about less is more and how we should keep the children busy. And just very briefly, when we go over the children's, how we teach children, how we teach the language, we go through all the different phases of speech development. When the child is born and the child can't speak, he or she can only point to things, and then the mother or the father or the people around the child provide the language. And this is exactly how, in a natural environment, in a natural language classroom, children learn the language. So this is a delayed first language acquisition, which is a second language acquisition in our case. And then the teacher first provides lots of language in the form of rhymes, rhythms, poems, songs, and all sorts of activities, always accompanied with movement. So that's when it comes from the gesture to speech to metalinguistic thought, when the children are already able to think about language itself. And so gesture, movement, and imitation go hand in hand. Right, classroom essentials. Again, I don't need to talk about the physical environment because many of you talked about it. It was really lovely. Lucy talked about it. Nati also talked about it. Learning environment, dead time in the classroom. It was so important what Nati said, because the minute that there is a dead moment in the classroom, there is chaos. And the only thing we don't want is chaos. Therefore, we introduce classroom etiquette. We have the 5 golden rules. Do this, do that, we don't do that, we do that, etc. And then group cohesion is very important because all through these activities, we create a very nurturing and very supporting classroom environment. Lesson framework I should mention, because we start the lesson with something, we finish the lesson with something, and then through the activities, we have a framework that gives support to the child, because rhythm and routines give support, and this is very, very important. So we start with an opening verse, and we close with a closing verse, and in between, we have whatever we would like to teach. Right, holistic education. We already talked about that as well. So I think it's important, educate, engage all the time. It would be interesting for them. They would love doing what the games provide a positive environment, a positive motivation for the children. They want to do it. There is never a dead moment in the classroom because they want to do all of them. And of course, sometimes we have to entertain them as well. And the most important, that their eyes would shine. There was once a very beautiful plenary talk in Slovakia where the speaker said, who am I being that my learners' eyes are not shining? So I think this is very important that the students' eyes are shining. That's the best feedback. Right. Have we lost again? I can't see the next slide. Never mind. I can talk about it. Maybe you can see it. Can you see the slides?
See it.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Which slide is on, Rob? Because I can't see it, but probably you can tell me.
The magic right now, playground songs and rhymes.
All right. Okay. So rhythm, rhyme, repetition, and ritual we skipped, or I skipped, and I talked about it. Yes. Very important to have the daily rhythm, the weekly rhythm, the monthly rhythm, the yearly rhythm for the children. And then so we've got the magic activities. This is all the songs, rhymes, poems, everything that we can have. And then I've got all my magic things here. Hope this is the next slide. Sorry, I can't see it. Is this all my magic things, Rob? What can you see in the slide? Quick practice.
Quick practice.
Yes. And I come back to the quick practice. I just show you the magic accessories that I've got. I've got the fly swats with me. I've got the beanbags with me for the beanbag games. As you can see, nice and colorful. I've got the skipping rope, which gives the repetition for the children, whatever we teach, January, February. And then we've got the cards with the fly swats. And never go anywhere without your fly swats, even in the coldest winter days. I wanted to show you one thing with the rainbow string, but I don't think we've got time for that, Rob.
Next one.
Next time I can show you lots of entertaining things with my string game and with my marbles and all my magic accessories. And thank you very much for listening to me. And sorry about the technical glitches.
Oh, sorry, I don't know why you can't see it. We see it fine now, so nobody will ever know. Okay. Yeah, thanks so much for doing this. I really appreciate it, and it's great. And I hope everybody here gets out and goes to Hungary this year. Really was a great time, and I enjoyed it, and great people there.
Yes, so, and can you see the 2 QR codes on the last slide?
Let's see. Yeah, actually.
Yes, many of you can be seen on the first one. That was the tree planting last year after your plenary, Rob, in Hungary, at EFL Hungary. And the other QR code is an article with me about teaching young learners. You can read a lot more than I was able to tell you in this very short 10 minutes. Thank you very much again.
Okay, thanks, Bia.